Welcome back for another video. We've got GW28 next weekend, so in this one we're going to talk about transfer plans and some key takeaways from the game week. Let's start with the Brentford game, who drew 2-2 with Chelsea in their home fixture. Jackson opened proceedings, which was a gusto assist. Chelsea are going to have multiple double game weeks later in the season, so it's worth keeping an eye on their assets. Petrovic still first choice in goal. Gusto's a cheap gem for as long as James is out injured, and obviously Palmer's bargain of the season. No returns from Tony in this one. Visser played excellent, he took 5 shots and he scored a bicycle kick. For those of us that are planning a free hit in 29, we'll be back in Tony still of course, but Visser could be a fun differential to chuck into your team as a possible third forward, along with Watkins. Palmer got an assist, so a 5-pointer for him. Newcastle finally kept a clean sheet, their first since Game Week 17 against Fulham back in December, which also ended 3-0. It was a good week for the budget keepers with Dubravka and Areola doing well. Gordon scored for an 8-pointer, so that's one blank from him all season in home games. In home games this season, Douglas Luiz has got 98 points and Gordon's second with 96 points. Crazy when you consider they both started the season at 5.5 mil. Isak scored as well, which was a Bruno G assist. He's one that's firmly on my watch list coming out of blank Game Week 29 and beyond, because Wilson's out until May, and Newcastle come out of the blank in 29 with a run of West Ham home, Everton home and then Fulham away. So Trippier was subbed off with an injury in the 52nd minute. Livramento came on for him and he actually scored the third goal. Hal said that Trippier felt a slight pain in his calf and he added, "Let's wait and see. Hopefully not a serious one." So Everton were defeated 3-1 home to West Ham. Massive points for Areola owners, who put up a 13-pointer despite conceding. He made 9 saves, including a Beto penalty saved, and he took all 3 bonus points. He's now the top scoring keeper in the game, again which is crazy when you consider he started the season at 4 mil. After that dreadful spell from Game Week 21 to 26, where he was averaging about 2 points per game, a massive return again. Bowen and Kudus both got an assist each. There could be a temptation to throw in an attacking defender like Emerson into a free hit 29 team, though they actually haven't kept a clean sheet since Game Week 20. Zuma got on the score sheet against Everton off a set piece. Everton were a bit unlucky with this fixture really. They had 2.73 expected goals, which is actually second top after City across all the weekend's games. Glasner's Crystal Palace started well against Spurs. By half time Spurs had barely threatened, and Eze put Palace ahead with a class free kick which curled top right, Vicario's near side as well. Werner equalised, which was a Johnson assist, and then Romero put Spurs ahead, which was a Maddison assist, and then Son finally came good for those of us that picked him up with a late goal in the 18th minute, which was another Johnson assist. No Richarlison or Porro in this fixture, who are both sidelined with injury. It sounds like Porro's got a chance of making Game Week 28 against Villa next weekend, but Richarlison probably longer. Son took 5 shots, 4 in the box, and he could have come away with more points on another day. He put Werner through 1-on-1 in goal, which really should have been a goal. He tried to round the keeper, and Johnson did really well to deny it. Somewhat of a shock result as Brighton were goalless against Fulham and comfortably beaten 3-0. Munoz is someone who's really flown under the radar, and he needs to be in the conversation as perhaps the best budget forward in the game right now. He's only 4.5 mil, and he's got 5 goals and assists in his last 5. At 4.5 mil, most of us will just take a striker that starts games, but he's one of the most informed players in the league right now. I'm definitely looking at him coming out of Game Week 29 as someone who could come into my team to free up the money to buy Salah. Liverpool are home to Brighton in Game Week 30, and then in Sheffield United Game Week 31. Wilson with a huge score of 14 points, but obviously in very few teams. Leno's now on 97 points for the season, which is joint second with Pickford. It's definitely a factor that's often overlooked, and I'm guilty of this as well. A keeper with an elite defence like Edison and Raya can often fare worse than budget keepers over the season because of the sheer number of save points the cheaper guys rack up, and the unexpected clean sheets here and there that we often bench. Not many would have backed Fulham to hold Brighton goalless though. It's very rare we see Brighton fail to score in any given week. Luton 2, Aston Villa 3. It was the Watkins show again with a brace in the first half, albeit a quiet second half for him. 13-pointer for the Watkins owners. Those that picked up Bailey or Douglas Luiz last week have done very well with those transfers. They both picked up an assist this week as well. So we've got the Luton double game week next. Morris is someone who's got to be in the conversation and someone to consider. Only 5.1 mil and he's got 109 points from 8 goals, 6 assists, and he's on penalties. Kaminsky a good option as well, especially if you're not going to free hit in Game Week 29, as Luton play while Bournemouth don't. Barkley also a solid option for 5 mil. And then of course Doughty, who got his 8th assist of the season in this match, and he's 4.6 mil. Don't expect much from the cheaper defenders like Bell and Mengi though. Bournemouth kept a clean sheet against Burnley away, 2-0 win. After some concerns about Solanke's fitness, he did start but he blanked. He had a pretty quiet game, he took 1 shot which was in the box, 0.19 xg. Messi came off injured in the first half. This one's dreadfully unlucky if you picked him up, given the clean sheet and the potential that he now misses the double game week. We're waiting to hear the assessment on the injury. He was holding the back of his leg, so it's likely a hamstring injury. If you're looking for a defender for the double game week, Zabani's the one. He's nailed, he plays every match. Kokes is a great option as well, but longer term he might be rotated once Kelly's back from injury. Bournemouth very likely in either double game week 34 or 37, so Zabani makes a lot of sense, especially if you made up wildcard before them. Neto of course a top pick as well. They've got Sheffield United and Luton next, both home games in their double game week. And after that they've got the blank game week 29, and then they've got a run of Everton, Palace and Luton. Man City with the final match of the weekend beating United 3-1. Rashford with an absolute weldy from outside the box, assisted by Bruno, which was unsavable. They barely threatened though, so very unlucky if you had a defender or Edison. Man United registered 0.26 expected goals, which was the lowest of all the weekend's games. No big chances registered, 2 shots total. Foden ran the show, a quality brace from him, 15-pointer. Absolute dreamland if you had Foden and Haaland. An Amrabat mistake in the 91st minute was intercepted by Rodri, and he played Haaland through for a slotted shot bottom left. Decisions to make for Foden owners, given the bad fixtures. Some have been weighing up selling him for a double game week midfielder, or perhaps Son, but he's a tough sell after that haul. And now only Salah and Saka have got more points among midfielders. So let's talk about transfer plans and early thoughts for game week 28. I've got Edison in goal, Saliba, Gabriel and Pedro Porro in defence, Palmer, Son, Saka and Gordon in midfield, and then Solanke, Haaland and Watkins. Solanke captain, which I'm pretty settled on. After a quiet game against Burnley, I'm a bit concerned about the knee injury, could still be hindering him a bit, but it's an insane double game week, he's having his best ever season, he's on penalties, so unless anything changes over the course of the week, he'll be locked in captain. Dubravka, Estupiñán, Van Dijk and Hwang on the bench. Hwang's reportedly out for about 6 weeks, which is salt in the wound as far as that transfer. The double game week is the priority though, and then it's free hit 29, so he's going to have to rot on the bench for a while unfortunately. Now in terms of transfer plans, I'm looking to attack the double. Edison's got Liverpool, and then after the blank he's got Arsenal, so the plan is to sell him for Neto. Dubravka's away to Chelsea, so it's an easy move this week. Pedro Porro is still red flagged, waiting to see if he is back for next match or not. And Estupiñán can't be trusted for starts right now, plus Van Dijk's got City, so the planned transfer is to sell Estupiñán for Zabani for a -4 hit. It means no Luton players for their double, but I'm happy enough with the Bournemouth triple up. Game week 29 the plan is to free hit, and then in game week 30 I'll likely roll the transfer with a view to bringing Salah back into the team, whether it will be replacing Son by downgrading Watkins to someone like Muniz who we talked about earlier, and then Hwang to Salah with a third move needed for a -4 somewhere for the extra 1 mil needed. I've been playing around with a free hit draft this week, so if you're looking for some inspiration, I've currently got a team of Flecken, Moreno, Porro, Doughty, Douglas Luiz, Bowen, Maddison, Son, Tony, Watkins and Morris. The bench is Areola, Gibbs, White, Reguilon and Emerson. For me the obvious picks are Tony, Watkins, Bowen, Son and Maddison. The other picks are quite debatable, there's not a lot between the likes of Doughty, Reguilon and Emerson for example. Anyway, that's where I'm at with the free hit 29 draft. We'll talk about it a lot more next week when the chip's active, so make sure you subscribe for that. Let us know in the comments how you're getting on, what your early thoughts are this week. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. See you soon for the next one.